Hi, morning traders. Welcome to another session of Market Snapshot. I hope we are all geared up for the opportunities. And being on a Wednesday, I normally say the first thing that you should do as a trader, look at the economic calendar. You don't want to be in a position where you're in profit or you're in some manageable loss. Then next thing you know, the markets have gone haywire, right? Because of what? Some news somewhere, right? So this is why the first thing that should look at is the economic calendar. So being on a Wednesday, we had some news. Australian CPI came out positive, and we'll see the reaction from the markets so that you guys can really understand the essence of making sure that you have that information, like you know what the possible news could be coming in. So we can see those are that traders were expecting 2.9%. The data came out 3%, right? So there must have been some volatility therein, yeah? And we will have a look at that. So there isn't much coming in. New home sales could be the next news coming out. And so we need to understand what is this new home sales and how does it affect the economy. So basically, it's the sale of new homes, right? This could be even a deposit. You know how like the off plan in Kenya, where like you can deposit money to a certain estate, as the construction continues, right? So in a way, that creates a ripple effect, and it also shows how healthy the economy is, because if guys are not buying houses, that's because they don't have the money to buy, right? They are probably prioritizing food and clothing, right? They will deal with rentals for the time being. So uh, when you hear like guys are buying homes, it triggers a whole lot of things, because buying a home is not just a one thing, right? So you'll have to buy furniture, you'll have to buy appliances. There are guys, most guys in the US use mortgages. There's a bank to close that deal. There are brokers to be paid, agents to be paid. So it's a whole thing that feeds a lot of families. So the moment there's a reduction in the number of new home sales, like for example, let's go now to the numbers, right? So traders are expecting 650,000. So if that number comes out lower, let's say 645, 640, the lower the number, the more volatile the dollar will be. In this case, it will be weak, because it means guys do not have the money to buy the houses, right? So that can only happen if the economy is not doing so well. However, if the numbers come out higher than this, let's say 660, 670, 680, that will be a big positive, right? Because it will mean that guys have disposable income to buy houses, and that will now create that whole ripple effect where like different sectors are benefiting: the furniture sector, appliances, mortgages being closed by banks, brokers and all that. So that is the essence of that news. Away from that, we don't have much to work with. The rest FOMC member, not so much of volatility. That's why it's yellow, low impact. Yeah. So with that understanding, let's go to our technicals. Let's do now the mapping. Where are the opportunities? Where are the buyers? Where are the sellers? And what to expect. So let me share my MT5. Okay, there we go. So in our last outlook on silver, I think this is someone who had asked me in the comment section, right? What was my outlook on silver? And I had pointed out that we will be looking for sell opportunities and then some bullish moves. So we can see that really played out, because price had come to an area called an order block, and we'll be looking at these. So this was the analysis, right? We had mapped out these order block as a possible buy area. So this is what you call a bullish order block, the last bearish candle before a move up that broke structure. So this structure was formed to form a higher high. So what you were looking at was a move down to test this area, and then now move up. So clearly we can see silver played out pretty well on that one. Now silver and gold have been hitting higher highs. So as traders, what we really need to understand is the opportunities are there, but then where do you buy? Where do you sell? Right? So let's go map out gold. Let's go to gold and see what should we be expecting. Now, the best thing would be to look at higher time frames. You really want to see the moves. We've been seeing a whole bullish move on gold. So what next? So go to the weekly, go to the monthly. It's way, way, way above, right? We're in territories we've never been to. Why? Of course, the uncertainty is there. And then most of the central banks are buying gold en masse. You know, that whole conversation around the market. Uh, there are some economies that have lost trust in the dollar as a foreign reserve. So they are trying to look at gold as a possible outlook. Remember, back in the 70s, gold was the standard, right? Everything was pegged in gold until it was removed by President Nixon. So I think most banks, if you look at India, they're buying gold en masse. China is doing the same. So that explains why gold has been going up all the way. So if I were to look for opportunity gold, now going to lower time frames, there's an area here. I don't know whether it has been tested. That one, 37.47. That's an area probably that we could see gold come to before pushing up. Let me see on M5. Yeah, so I'll probably be looking at a bearish scenario before the bullish trend continues. So I'd also want to map something called the Asian low, which is the lowest price today. That would also be a possible area on gold. So probably a dip, and then maybe we could see a continuation of that bullish move on gold. Let's look at GBP USD. No, let's go to Euro USD first. So this was an analysis we did earlier. This was yesterday in our mentorship class. I had anticipated that Euro USD would test the Asian high and then dip. So clearly didn't get to my price level. Missed with a few pips, as we can see from these highs. But then that's okay. You don't chase trades. Huh? A good trader is one who respects their trading plan. You just say that, the market will always give you another entry. But for now, let's do this again. Let's see what are the possible outlooks on Euro USD. I would want to go to higher time frames first to see where the market is headed. So I'm still bullish on Euro USD to this high. I would still want to see Euro USD hit that area because already it's hit this order block. Yeah, so that is what I'm looking at as a possible move on Euro USD long term, right? But for now, let's see possible moves. I'll be looking at a bearish move before continuation of the bullish move. So I'm identifying areas with buyers. So clearly yesterday's low has been tested so far. This is an area with buyers, right? And then how strong are they? We can see a moving average holding almost at that price level. But I still want to see a further bearish move before I would consider a bull. So let's see whether we have some buyers as last week's been. Let's see. No, price has not hit that area. So I'll need to go back to H4. Yeah, 1761. That's an area probably I would want to see Euro USD come to before considering a bullish move. So a further drop to this area will probably give me now that bullish play to that high. That's what I would want to see on Euro USD. Now, of course, you don't trade based on one parameter. You'll need to look at confirmations. What about UT100? T100 has been hitting higher highs, but then we've seen pullbacks to the moving average. So what would you be expecting? I would probably want to see a test of yesterday's low on UT100. That will present a case for some bullish move. So I'll be looking for a bearish move. USD CHF. Earlier yesterday, we were looking for two areas. We had identified two possible areas where USD CHF would come to before taking on a bullish move. So we had this one on H4. If we go to H4, we will see that this was an order block. You can see this order block here. This is once again, just like we've seen on silver, this is what you would call a bullish order block. Okay, a bullish order block is the last bearish candle before a move up. So this is what was tested, right? But also had mapped another bullish order block on H1, this one on my left, right? This was also a possible area in the extreme case where would have seen the new spike, then it will have hit this order block before going up. But clearly the H4 order block held yesterday, and then we've seen now that whole that is something pips move on USD CHF. So let's remove this analysis since it's been invalidated. Go to higher time frames. H4, that's a candle I would want to see being tested. Yeah. So maybe a bullish move. Just like we've seen on Euro USD, we expect a continuation of the sell, right? So this means that the dollar is weak at this point in time. So a further bullish move on Euro USD to this area or last week's high. Actually, it's the weekly high. The high that was set on Monday could also act as a possible. That area could act as a possible resistance area. So once we get to this level, we could probably see some bears stepping in, or that area. Those two areas are areas with some sellers. So let's see how the market reacts if we get there. The other one is Australian dollar versus US dollar. Once again, like I've said, the dollar is weak. Now look at what happened due to the CPI news 430, right? This is the 430 candle. If we check it out, you can see it's the 430 candle. This is what I was saying, right? You really want to make sure that you you have looked at your economic calendar so that you're not caught up in such a move, because not so many traders, let's be honest guys, not so many traders, if let's say you are selling here, right, or somewhere here, or maybe you woke up and decided to take a sell, uh, not so many traders can have a stop loss of 34 pips, right? Most traders have 20, max 30. That includes me. So this could have easily wiped out your position, but it was not, it shouldn't have been the case, because if you had checked out the news, you would have seen a possible volatility coming in, and you would have probably said, okay, due to this, I would want to manage my risk and all these, right? And one of the ways of managing risks is that you don't enter a trade that is not in line with your trading plan. So that's the effect of news. So let's see what could be the possible moves on Audi USD. So actually, I can see there is now it's clear why price was held at that price level. There was that moving average, the 800 moving average, acting as resistance, right? So that explains why price was held there. So what would I want to see on Audi USD? A sell, just like we've seen on Euro USD. Continuation of this move, maybe to test the Asian low. Let's see, Euro USD, have we hit our area? Not yet. So that is what I would want to see on Audi USD. A possible bearish move to this area, and then maybe we could encounter some bulls from there. Let's look at GBP USD. GBPUSD is also selling. Like I've said, what's running the show right now is the dollar, right? So that's why you can see all these moves coming in. So going to the daily, there's an area where that there's an order block that has not been tested. This one, which once again, this is a bullish order block. The last bearish candle before a bullish move that broke this structure, right? We can see this. This is what you would call a higher high that was broken here. So this higher high was broken here. So to form the higher high. So the last bearish candle that led to that is this one. Okay. So I anticipate that GBPUSD is dropping to test this order block, which is almost 30 pips from the current market price. So that is an area where we could see some buyers now stepping in and push the market up. So a bearish move and then maybe a bullish move to probably that area, a 60 pips move. That's what I would want to see on GBPUSD. The other one is NZDUSD. Where are you at? Okay. So go to higher time frames, the daily. There's a high likelihood that NZDUSD is coming to test the monthly low. This was the low that was set up here. Was it 8th? Let's see. 5th September. 5th September. This is the low that was set up. So NZDUSD is most probably coming to hit that low. And then we could encounter some buyers. There's also another block here I can see on H4. This candle, right? It's a possible buy area. So I'll be looking at that sell on NZD USD. Alternatively, if the market is so volatile, nothing stops NZD USD from testing last month's low. This one, 57.99. That's an area also with some strong buyers. Yeah. So just like we've seen on the other pairs, the dollar is calling the shots. So a bearish move to this area and a possible continuation of the sell. Let's look at USD JPY as we wrap up. So USD JPY is going to the weekly high, the high that was set up on Monday. Yeah. So this is probably what I would want to see price get there. When we get there, then we'll see some possible reaction from the sellers. There's a possible reaction from sellers because this is an area with some sellers, right? So we could see some drop to these lows to maybe yeah. So that's probably what I would want to see on USD JPY. Yeah, I think that's it. Not unless, of course, there are some questions. But that's the analysis so far. A possible drop on GBP on gold to test these lows before continuing with the bullish move. Euro USD, a continuation of this drop. UT100, a possible drop. USD CHF, a possible bullish move to either these highs and then a sell. Audi USD, a possible drop to that Asian low. GBP USD, a possible drop to what we've seen as an order block. NZD USD, a possible drop to the monthly low and even last month's low, right? The monthly low and last month's low. So those are the two areas where especially this one, we have strong buyers at 57.99, which is 5800, which is considered to be a quarter point. Yeah, so that's an area where probably I would want to look at. Hello everyone, is there a class for beginners? I'm new. Yes, Joel. Awesome, good question. So below this video, you will see link on bio. Right, you can see learn how to trade. Yeah, go to that learn how to trade and select the evening class, the 8 to 9 p.m. class. That's the beginners class. Okay. If you're interested in mentorship, yes, you know a thing about trading, you know the basics. What is a pip? What is a lot size? Now you want to perfect your strategy. You want to learn more on risk management. You want to learn more on trading psychology. Why is it that I'm greedy? Why is it that I'm impatient? Why is it that I don't wait for trades to come to my area? I have that sickness called FOMO, fear of missing out, right? Then you might want to join that mentorship class, the 11 to 12 p.m. session. Then there's something that we'll be having next Tuesday. This can apply even for beginners, right? Sign up for the How to Spot Opportunities webinar, 30th September. Okay, you can see it there on your screen. That is also something you would want to join. Register, and you'll definitely get to learn a lot. If you're a fast learner, then I can assure you that by the end of that day, you'll have known how to trade, right? Because we'll cover everything. Any question? Yeah, morning, everyone. Okay, can someone trade a pullback? Yeah, most definitely. But now the risks, when it comes to pullbacks, make sure that you have confirmations that it's a real pullback, right? Yeah. Yeah, and that means it must come to areas that has, in this case, if let's say the market is selling, like we can see, on NZD USD, maybe a pullback will be a scenario where you're looking at, your long-term outlook is sell, right? So you want a possible push, a pullback, and then a sell, right? So it's possible to trade pullbacks, but you need to be very wary on them. Hello, Robert. Would you be on the ripple effect visas from Trump, long term or short term? Now, listen. This will affect some companies, especially companies that go for high skilled guys, right? Because if you look at companies like Tesla, companies like Microsoft, companies like Google, if you look at the CEO of Microsoft, he's Indian. If you look at the CEO of Google, is Indian, right? Microsoft, Google are run by, I think, even Intel. Most of these companies are run by highly skilled guys from outside the US, right? So that will be a challenge for some companies when it comes to recruiting specialized people, right? Tech guys, especially the tech companies. They're the ones who will struggle with this. So we don't, because Trump has already said that he will do something about HIB visas. They are not scrapping it, but there's something they want to do, right? They want to put in some rules, like how they did with USAID, right? They scrapped it. Now this one will be a totally different ball game, right? So let's see how things will play out, but I don't see it affecting the tech companies so much, because I mean, if you really want to hire someone, I mean, you have no choice. You'll have to set up a budget for that. You're looking at long-term revenue versus cost. You'd rather just hire them. So most of these companies will just price it in. That's my two piece on the HIB visas. Any other question? Okay, no question. So thank you guys for your time. Today we didn't have much of economic data to work with, and so let's see how are there bonus for ongoing? What do you mean? Like if you're already a trader, kindly clarify. Because we have 100% bonus for everyone who's joining in, right? So if it's your first time to trade, then if you deposit $100, you'll get an extra $100. But for ongoing, I mean, I'm guessing you mean you're already a client, you're already trading. No, well, we don't have that. It's more of welcome bonus. Any other question? Okay, guys. Cheers. Be peepful. look for those opportunities. Never enter trades without confirmations. Make sure that you have a confluence. There are these confirmations saying that indeed that's a buy area. If you're struggling with that, please join the beginners class. Sorry, join the mentorship class. We get to discuss that, and even the beginners class. Yeah, like today in the evening, I'll be covering a strategy. Right. So if you don't have a strategy that tells you buy, sell, right, then that would present you with an opportunity to come and learn. Just go to learn how to trade, link in bio, go register for the evening class. How about palladium metal? Is it promising? Well, in all honesty, I would have to do more research on that. I don't have that data because most common metals are gold and silver, right? That one, I would have to do more research on it, Caroline. Okay, thank you guys for your time. Have a peaceful day.